Hello and welcome to Picture Astrology. In this quick video we will talk about placement of Jupiter in the royal sign of Leo. And one very interesting thing associated with Jupiter in Leo is regarding the marriage. In a large section, or let's say considerable section of traditional Vedic astrologers in India are of the opinion that when Jupiter transits Leo, and that transit almost lasts for 1 year, that 1 year of time is not the greatest time for performing the ritual of marriage. And in fact in India you can see that 1 year when Jupiter transits Leo, a considerable less number of marriages are performed. And in this video we will look into some of the reasoning behind that and also see what are the practical observations regarding this. And apart from that, we will also explore the physical, mental and emotional effects which this placement of Jupiter can bring about in your life. So the sign of Leo is owned by Sun. And as you know, the entire solar system revolves around Sun. It is pretty much held by Sun's magnetic pull, or rather the centrifugal force exerted by Sun is what kept all the planets and entire solar system in a stable state. And on a very similar line, Jupiter among the non-luminary planets, meaning apart from Sun and Moon, Jupiter is the planet with highest gravity among solar system, and also the size of the Jupiter is the second largest after Sun, and Jupiter is known for its gravitational pull as well. So when Jupiter as a planet is placed in a sign ruled by Sun, it obviously gives rise to a very impactful and magnetic personality. So if this combination is in any way associated with the ascendant of the horoscope, either with the first house or with the lord of the first house, then it gives rise to a very strong physique, generally very tall as well, and the appearance has a great gravity, a great pull, almost like a commanding impression which you get when you look at the person. And similarly, say this combination affects your second house, which is the house of your voice or speech or the way you communicate, then definitely the voice would be very commanding. And apart from that, the sign of Leo is also a fiery sign and it is fixed in nature. And if you look at fixed fire, and it's pretty much like Sun, fixed fire in general is used to give us light. It is used to show us the path or brighten the path, and is very closely associated with knowledge, all kind of knowledge, especially traditional knowledge, because Sun is considered to be the ultimate repository of cosmic knowledge in Vedic astrology, and Jupiter is also biggest signifier of knowledge and wisdom. And therefore this combination does not only give an imposing appearance, that appearance is also generally backed by deep knowledge and also a deep sense of pride in the knowledge which they have obtained. So if that kind of person speaks, he speaks as if a highly intellectual person is speaking, and therefore they are easily able to impress others. And generally speaking, this environment of Leo is extremely friendly and conducive for Jupiter. Jupiter really feels at a lot of ease in this environment. And therefore various significations, various karakas of Jupiter flourish very well. And one of the important aspect of Jupiter is it represents your Purva Punya, or basically loosely translated they can be called as past life good karmas and the result of those good karmas. And if you see in your horoscope, whichever two houses Jupiter rules over, basically the houses where Sagittarius and Pisces are placed, the significations of these two houses, you can easily find that your Purva Punyas are helping you, meaning you put in less effort but you get more and more gains in things which are demonstrated by the sign of Sagittarius and Pisces in your horoscope. So that's another reason why this placement becomes very desirable. And another thing, Leo represents high hills. It represents temples, especially temples which are situated on high hilly areas. It also represents jungle. And Jupiter is your bliss, your happiness, your joy which you get in this life. And Jupiter's placement in such a sign of Leo easily gives this people, a love for going into, say, jungle safaris or climbing hills. And if the horoscope has any spiritual bent, then these people are actually drawn towards, higher hills, Himalayas, the temples of Himalayas, the pilgrimages which are situated in such areas. Those things and activities kind of finds a great manifestation, and these people find great happiness in that too. Now, one of the common issues associated with this placement is that, as you can probably already see, that this kind of combination gives them a very proud personality, especially if Moon is little bit afflicted and not fairly well placed. And because of that, any opposition can make them, irritated. They can get irritated very easily and kind of take things to heart. And because of that, they can end up creating, many adversaries. Although this position generally implies that they will be able to win over enemies, but because of their own nature and because of somewhat, proud in their abilities, they can come across as an irritable personality. But this especially is going to happen only when Moon is not well placed. Now let's quickly talk about the marriage thing which we discussed in the beginning, that many astrologers in India believe that when Jupiter transits this sign of Leo that whole 1 year, they don't find it very conducive to perform the ritual of marriage, the formal marriage. And let me sort of clarify that there have been many astrologers who have published many studies from their practical experiences and displayed that Jupiter's placement in Leo, marriages performed during this time do not show any significant difference from the marriages performed in any other times. And especially, K.N. Rao has published a big study on this, Sri K.N. Rao, one of the biggest name in astrology in India. And therefore, there is no reason to, doubt that Jupiter in Leo or marriages performed during Jupiter transit in Leo can be detrimental. However, the reason which traditional astrologers usually ascribe for such suggestion is the fact that Sun is considered to be a great disciple of Jupiter. And as I said in somewhere in the video, that Sun is supposed to be the repository of all kind of cosmic wisdom, all kind of cosmic knowledge, especially the spirituality. And Jupiter is also the biggest signifier of philosophy and spiritual knowledge and wisdom. And when Sun, which basically represents your soul, your true essence, or the jiva within you, when that transits the sign of Jupiter, or rather the other way around, when Jupiter transits the sign of Sun, that time is considered especially beneficial for spiritual activities, for philosophical activities, or activities which are supposed to take your attention towards a higher realm, towards, away from physical pleasures. This time is supposed to be very conducive where you can easily transcend the physical pleasures barrier and sort of find higher spiritual light. So what happens is, any activity, especially activity like marriage, when it is performed during this time, the couple as a whole, together, the husband and wife together could be more inclined towards the spiritual growth, which is in Vedic system considered to be a very important aspect of marriage. Marriage is supposed to be two extremely opposite ends. One, obviously the physical and sensual aspect of it, and secondly also the upliftment of the jiva by conducting the dharma or social responsibility together and basically finding or moving towards higher wisdom. So what happens is when any activity performed during this transit will have a higher amount of spiritual side of marriage rather than the physical and sensual side, and that is one of the reasons why many astrologers believe or suggest avoiding formal marriage ceremony during this time. However, as I said, there has been enough studies which have shown that longevity of marriage or relationship between husband and wife has been no different than marriage was performed in any other times. So friends, this was my quick analysis of Jupiter in the sign of Leo. We will definitely talk about this placement for every ascendant in coming series. So please do like and subscribe to my channel to continue to get updates like this. Thank you so much for spending time with me and watching the video, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.